Season 3, Episode 5 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of the Dollmaker. Another one told by the horrifying, the grim, the scary Betty Ann.
Hey, what's the rush, Slick?
Betty Ann's up tonight.
Ooh, pressure's on. This better be good.
We last saw her in The Tale of the Whispering Walls, and she's going to tell the tale after this one as well. While this episode isn't as horror-focused as the tale she usually tells are, there is a part where someone loses their limbs, so that's kind of scary. Then Betty Ann takes a doll out of her backpack and begins to tell the story. The main character of this story is named Melissa. And Melissa is visiting her Aunt Sally and Uncle Pete for the weekend. And she used to play with their daughter Susan, who was the same age as her. But she's told that unfortunately Susan isn't here, she's in the city. She goes up to the attic and sees this dollhouse. Now there seems to be a pattern with doll episodes. Either this doll episode turns into a real house and she gets trapped in the dollhouse, or the dolls come alive and try to kill the characters. Well, this is the first one. She goes into this dollhouse in a Chronicle of Narnia scenario where she opens up this door and is transferred into the dollhouse and sees that Susan is there. She's not sure how to get her out of this dollhouse. The dollhouse is also supposed to be a replica of the Hendersons' home. So while Melissa is staying with her Aunt Sally and Uncle Pete, she goes over to hang out with the Hendersons. So she's really going over to this house uninvited. In fact, there's a funny scene where she actually breaks into the Hendersons' house. She literally smashes the back door open with a hammer and then unlocks it and just sneaks in to go into this dollhouse. So she's not really supposed to be in this house, but whatever. She's a rebel. She knows if she could somehow navigate this dollhouse, she could save Susan. We see Susan that is trapped in this house and actually does look like a doll and isn't much help with Melissa because her hands keep falling off. She has doll hands, so she can't move any of these bookcases to help her escape. Main character Melissa is played by Mia Filar, voiced Phoebe Therese in 52 episodes of The Magic School Bus. She seemed to quit around 2000, and then somehow just restarted her career in 2015, writing for food shows like Big Food Bucket List and Wall of Chefs. It's like, I'll take 15 years off, and now I'm a cook, so I'll start doing that. And the doll Susan is played by Amanda Walsh, who's still acting to this day. Was the love interest of Shia LaBeouf in the 2007 movie Disturbia. Movie I bought at Blockbuster for $3.99, and I still have it. She's recently been in the Lost Girl series, and a writer for Schitt's Creek. That's SCHITT. Why would they name a show like this? I guess they're trying to be funny. Melissa is a smart antagonist, and I like him when these young characters aren't complete doofuses. So she can't find a way to save Susan from this dollhouse, so she breaks into the house with her hammer, then uses a ball of twine and ties it to the doorknob. As she's led through this dollhouse that seemingly changes forms whenever it wants to, she'll be able to just follow the ball of twine back to the exit. This is quite smart. My guess is that Susan is slowly turning into a doll. She can't use her hands, but she can still move her face. So maybe if she's trapped in this dollhouse longer, she'll eventually completely turn into a doll. I think that's what they're getting at. So Melissa takes Susan's hand, and with this ball of twine, she's able to find the exit of this dollhouse and escape with Susan. And we get a nice ending where Susan is able to meet her parents once again, now that she's been saved by Melissa. I'm going to give this episode a solid 6 out of 10. You could poke holes in the story. Why does this dollhouse randomly change? It's supposed to be a replica of the Henderson's house, but she notes that the attic is different. Also, did the parents never try to go into the attic and open up this wardrobe and stick their hands through it and go, oh, wow, this takes me to a portal to a different place? Like, come on, did you guys even search for your daughter? But I think it's a good episode. It's not super scary, but it has a nice ending. And there's a good twist on a doll episode where the doll doesn't just come alive for the 4 billionth time. We've seen that so many times before. It then cuts back to the Midnight Society around the campfire. And Tucker, who wasn't really into hearing a story about dolls, because that's like lame and he's too cool, is actually impressed by Betty Ann's story. And Betty Ann explains that Melissa's uncle ended up setting the dollhouse on fire. And they actually answered the question that I had, which is, okay, they burned this dollhouse, but they stole this Chronicles of Narnia wardrobe that leads to some other world. What happens there? And they don't answer that question, but they do throw that question out there. Who knows? Maybe the next time they step into that wardrobe, they get transported into hell. DJ McHale explained in an interview that they wrote all the stories for the season first before they filmed them, and then they would just attach it to the Midnight Society character that they think would be closest to the story. So I thought originally maybe these stories told by Betty Ann were specifically written for Betty Ann, because this doesn't really seem like a story she would tell. She typically has a monster in the story. Here there's no monster, we do see a doll whose hands fall off. It's a bit creepy, but that's it. But really they write these stories beforehand and then just go, well, just give it to Betty Ann, like closest age to her. And Betty Ann is also going to tell the next story, The Tale of the Bookish Babysitter, about how you should read books instead of watching TV. The age-old debate, is the book better than the movie? Well, I guess we'll see in the next tale of the Midnight Society. And also check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. We're doing Black Mirror, Mystery Science Theater 3000, every single episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, Twilight Zone. We're going to start on American Horror Story. Thanks a lot.